Well, I had a homeowner reach out, as they typically do when they're looking for a fence. And they had given us they sent a form lead in online and submitted, hey, we're looking for a white vinyl fence. And then they said they're moving into their house in like 3 weeks, 6 weeks, something like that. I can't recall from the conversation. It looks like a big property. And so we're gonna see, it's out in Waterloo. Take a look at their property, walk the property. We'll see what makes sense for them, kind of going off of their goals, what is gonna accent the home, because we want our fences to look perfect. And then the last thing is, what are their goals? What's their budget? And so we'll take a look and see what it is, walk the property, and then we'll go from there.
This is the initial fence consultation video walkthrough. It is a 6-foot tall white privacy vinyl fence. We would be coming off the corner here on the, I guess the gutter is gonna be on the outside of the fence, coming straight down 16.5 feet to the property line is 17 feet from the edge of this house. And then we're heading back this direction. Now in the back here, there is a drainage easement that you can see, but we have to contact the permitting and zoning office in Waterloo to see, hey, where is the actual build line where we have to stop? Now currently we're just going by the entire plat, which goes further than you would expect visually. It's almost out to this wood pile over the drainage easement. And then we're cornering. The back end of this yard is not perfectly square. It's more at an angle, even though both sides of the yard are parallel. Now we're walking this way. Now, if there is a fence in front of this drainage easement, my recommendation is to put a gate in the back. That way you can access this space that's technically yours to do yard work and maintain the grass, so the neighbor doesn't have to do the work that your house is. We'll be cornering here, heading straight back, and then cornering into the back of the garage bump out. We would be coming straight down towards the garage bump out in the back. And this area would have an 8-foot double drive gate. It's an ideal location for it. It is level ground. The way I've got the gate designed for the double 4 and a 4 for an 8-foot opening is centering it so that there's, I believe, 3.5 inches or 3 foot 3 inches and 3 foot 3 inches of fence on both sides. And that is it.
Well, after walking that property, visually to me, it looks pretty clear that there's an easement in their backyard. There's a giant drain sitting just down at the end. Their neighbor's yard has a big drain, kind of right in between where all of the back property lines meet. That's usually a pretty good indication that there's a drainage easement there. In Waterloo, you can build over a drainage easement if you have a fence that allows for water flow, such as ornamental steel or chain link. But in Cedar Falls, they do not allow you to build over any drainage easement or utility easement. And so even though the cities are really close together, there are definitely nuances between the two, and getting it wrong could mean a lot of issues for you, the homeowner, especially if the contractor you chose didn't pull a fence permit on their own. But anyway, the fence that we took a look at, or the yard rather, and this is one of the services we like to provide, I'm gonna call the city and I'm gonna ask about the property. I'm gonna say, hey, this is the property I'm looking at. They want a fence. This is the type of fence they want. Do you have an easement back there? And then they're gonna be able to tell me the distances. In Cedar Falls, I can pull up the Cedar Falls GIS system, and I know, based on their information, it's exactly what the city zoning and planning department is gonna look at. I'm looking at the same map. In Waterloo, I don't have that option, but I can still call. So I called, or will call, and see kind of what options I've got. I'm gonna get back to the homeowner tomorrow after finding that information out and see which direction they wanna go. If their main goal was privacy for their dog. And so we'll see which direction this needs to go. If there's a big easement, it may mean losing a lot of your backyard as far as not being fenced in. And no one wants to be paying property tax on grass behind their fence that they're never gonna use, but they're gonna have to mow. And so with that said, we'll just have to see. and follow up from there. If the project does go through and everything works out correctly like we're expecting it to, we will definitely give you the update.
I was able to call the Waterloo City Hall the next day, and unfortunately, the easement in the backyard is much larger than you would expect just visually seeing it. It is 22 feet on one side of their yard and 26 on the other. The back property line is over 100 feet, right about 100 feet long. The only real solution, other than losing 2,000 square feet of property that this homeowner pays for, is to put a fence in that allows water flow. We are going to discuss it with them and say, hey, these are the options. Either one, we could do a privacy fence, the vinyl that you were looking for, but you're going to really be paying for a lot of yard that you're not going to be able to fence in. Or we can go for something like a 6-foot tall chain link fence that is built strong enough to be able to support a privacy screen. And then we'll be able to put a privacy screen on in the back, putting intentional relief posts in so that in a situation where water flow does need to occur, it is a very quick snipping of some zip ties to allow for that water to flow. That way we can get the best of both worlds. Fence around the yard for your dog, privacy when you need it, and then the ability to remove that privacy and allow water drainage and flow as needed. Hopefully this works out for the homeowner.